It's time! Cincinnati, we gon' rise and up. In the jungle, we united up. Drippin' orange and black and white. All day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Now who got 'em, who rockin' on? Now who wanna move tossing on? Now who wanna move out on? If you got stripes, then you let the city know you rock 'em. Yeah, we got 'em, yeah, we brought 'em. Like that black and orange up on 'em. Finger bottle, never stop it. To the beast and know 'em. Who they rockin' with the diamond stripes? Flossin' on the ring. Cincinnati, she's our queen. We gon' show the world who king. Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins.
Welcome to another episode of Bengals and Brews. I am Del Ullman, joined by the co-host today, and may have a couple other people popping in, but Greg Luther, what is up, my brother?
Dude, happy Tuesday afternoon, man. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing all right. It's Tuesday, you know. We're living. Joe Burrow is our quarterback. There's a lot to be happy and thankful for.
What's there to complain, right?
I mean, people find things, but
People find things to complain about all the time, but you know, man, big picture wise, there's nothing to complain, though, in my opinion.
no. Even titled this like All Pro Potential / Pro Bowl snubs, All Pro snubs. When I look at the list, there's not a lot. Like, just, you know, we'll just dive right into that because I got a few topics.
Let's do it. Let's do
We're not
it.
going to have another show till at least Friday, at the earliest. Which I'm trying to lock in a guest. I hadn't really worked on getting a guest, and I was like, maybe I'll ask a certain person who followed our account. So they said they'd love to do it, but I don't know if it'll be Friday or not. I haven't heard back from them.
Either way, it'd be awesome.
So this year, the NFLPA did their own All-Pro list, so that's new.
Mm-hmm.
Quarterback was Mahomes.
Of course.
Do you really got much of a complaint with that? I mean,
look, Dale, we could say, Mahomes, man, I'll be the first to tell you, I thought the Chiefs could almost finish last place in that division, man. With all the moves they made last year, all the other teams did, Mahomes didn't really hit. Besides Kelsey, he had a bunch of B and C receivers. You got to give it to Mahomes for what he had to work with, too.
yeah. I mean, as much as we'd love to see Burrow get that award, and I think he's got several of those coming his way.
Oh, yeah, he does, but you have to – I don't mean to be a realist, but – you know.
Hey, Greg, it's okay. That's what I said. There's not a lot to complain about when we look at this.
No.
And then running back was Josh Jacobs. He had a really good season. For the
Josh
Raiders.
Jacobs, I feel like he's been on my fantasy team ever since I drafted him. I don't think he's ever gotten the respect as Derrick Henry or even Nick Chubb. But Josh Jacobs has always been a very consistent running back ever since he's been in the NFL. I think if Derrick Henry wasn't hurt at times, he probably could have won it again. But I can't complain about Josh Jacobs.
I almost feel like if McCaffrey had been on the 49ers for the whole season that, you know, you would have had to look at him.
Yep.
Because, I mean, when he was with the 49ers, he just did a little bit of everything for them. And,
yeah.
He seemed kind of like maybe, you know, too injury prone before that. So,
yeah, absolutely.
He kind of resurrected things going to the 49ers. Imagine how that works. Lucky bastards. But, you know. Fullback. I can't imagine there was much competition for this one. Use check for the 49ers. How many other fullbacks are there at this point, Greg?
I'm trying to think. I know. So here, let's think who carries a fullback. I know the Niners do. I know the Patriots do. Don't the Browns carry a fullback?
Well, I guess the Ravens have that one guy, right? Ricard.
Do the Chiefs have a fullback, don't they?
If they do, I don't feel like he hardly plays.
Yeah, I miss the old days of football. If you remember our last – you know, I don't want to get too off topic here. When we had Brian Hewitt, I thought he was the best fullback in the league, and he did a damn good job for us. But, you know, that's a different story. What's up, guys?
What up? What are we talking about?
All pros. NFLPA did their own version of all pros. So, Mahomes, do you agree Mahomes should be first-team all-pro?
How many can you pick?
What?
Just one, man. It's all pro. Like, receivers has two. Then they do it by, like, position-wise. I do like how they do left tackle, left guard, center, right guard, right tackle. They nose tackle. They have all that on here.
The quarterback's only one quarterback.
Yeah. I said it's hard to argue Mahomes had a –
I hate to say it, but right now you have to go with him, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, I hate to say that as a Bengals fan, but, yeah.
And
it's going to change because he's
I
coming.
know. That's what we were saying. I think eventually it'll change. I got to agree with Crip. All pro potential is Casper Dick. He could have a Super Bowl season through Injera. But if you guys seen what I tweeted, if he can't shoot an arrow with his legs like that, I don't think he should get to be Orange Arrow anymore.
Yeah.
Definitely can't be Orange Arrow anymore.
No.
So Kings Island's looking nice. You at Kings Island?
No, we're at Broadway at the beach here in Myrtle.
Yeah.
I just got done doing the, if you guys saw my Twitter, I just got done going to the Hall of Fame Gridiron here.
Oh, nice.
Dude, there's no Bengal stuff in there, but
None?
it's coming. But it's pretty damn cool.
That's
They
awesome.
had the picture of the Lombardi trophy, or not picture, I took a picture of the Lombardi trophy, and I tweeted out, we're taking this sucker home.
I saw that, Strawberry. That was awesome.
So I got that. You get different stuff there. You can, I was kind of surprised. My hand is as big as Jim Kelly's hand, which is kind of surprising. But then I stood next to a mold of Jerome Brown's leg, and it came up to my waist. He's a giant human.
Yeah, sounds like it. So how's the vacation going overall?
Good. We're heading to Florida tomorrow. So we get in the car and start driving again.
Yeah.
When do you come back?
Monday we should be back.
Okay, cool.
So I might be doing my show Monday, maybe. I
Nice.
don't know. Depending on what time I get home.
He might take another week's vacation, Greg. This guy vacations. He vacations more than anybody I know.
Yeah, really, Strawberry. I mean,
More selfies and more vacations than anybody.
Hey, that's the first vacation I've had. What was the first trip I took since I went to the AFC Championship game?
The first of about 72 vacations for the summer coming up.
there you go.
Well,
What are you drinking there, Iceman? You just got...
Bob, one of the Wahlburgers.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. They tore down I heard they got rid of the one in Cincinnati.
Yeah, that's what my wife said. I'm like, God, we went there once, and I said, yeah, they have one in Cincinnati. She said, no, it's closed. I'm like, oh, well, they put it in a bad spot. They should have put it at the banks, or they should have put it.
Which would you rather go to Wahlburgers or Chandler's?
Huh?
Would you rather go to Wahlburgers or Chandler's?
Oh, Chandler's, dude, come on now.
All right, just making sure.
West Side, baby. West Side, baby.
There you go, man.
Oh, yeah. Well, Ice, enjoy your vacation, buddy.
All right, boys, have a good show. Talk to you later.
Take care, bro.
Hey, buddy.
Bye.
I didn't want him to have to keep leaning in every 2 seconds.
Right.
No one wants to see that.
He's just enjoying himself.
Oh, I know. Receivers were Jefferson and Adams, which Adams, I felt like he didn't. I'm like, oh, did he even have a good year? Then you look at his stats, it's like he was dominant stat-wise.
With all the drama that went on with the Raiders, he still was one of the top receivers. That just shows you how bad the Raiders were this year with the wreck down drama they were dealing with McAdams, with McDaniels, with Derek Carr. I mean, all that they were dealing through. McAdams still played like the top receiver in the league, and Justin Jefferson. What's there more to say about him, right?
Yeah, and I think Chase can challenge these guys, but he was dinged up, had some injuries too. So that's the thing. Like a lot of these, I feel like if it wasn't for the injuries, it would have been a different story. That maybe they could have had some guys on there. Now Trent Williams at left tackle, or Kelsey at tight end. You can't really argue that.
No.
Trent Williams, Joel Bitonio left guard. Can't argue that. Center, Kelsey from Philly. You can't fucking argue that. Zach Martin, Dallas, right guard. It's like the same guys year after year, too. So, like, if you get these top linemen, it's like they stay there. Lane Johnson at right tackle. So,
oh, nice of you to join us, Cam.
Hey, I'm sorry. I apologize.
How you doing, buddy? We're talking all pros voted by NFLPA.
yeah. And then we had Iceman hop in here from his vacation, just trying to, make everyone feel bad.
Right. Rub it in.
Yeah.
He's good at that. But so far we went through the offense. There's really Mahomes, even you can't even complain. Like maybe you could say you wanted Burrow or Allen based on regular season. Allen kind of got dinged up and went through a bad stretch. So it's hard to argue with honestly any of these.
Well, Dale, my question to you is this. Everybody says you have an offensive line, you should be a good team. You look at the Browns for years, even before Bitonio came there, they've had Joe Thomas, who's a top 5 lineman. Eric Steinbach, when he left us, was good there. They've had Kevin Zeitler. Now they have Antonio and Wyatt Teller, who are the best guard team in the NFL, yet they still can't do anything. How is it they've had this good of an offensive line for years and still can't do shit?
I don't know. Who's their right tackle also? It's been good that they
no, Conklin.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. And I wanted him in free agency that one year. I mean, I know Jedrick Wills isn't that great, but still, that's unacceptable. And they have one of the best. Callahan's dad, I forget his name. He's like the best. What's that?
Bill
Callahan, best offensive line coach. I was so mad the Bengals didn't get him when we hired Callahan. I thought that would have been perfect for him. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm happy with Frank now, but yeah.
He must be talking about you. Karen must be talking about you, Cam.
Yeah, not me, definitely.
Definitely not me.
Not me. But no, like I said, the Browns for years and years have always had great offensive line, and they just never could get it. I just never understood that.
That's because their quarterback suck.
Yeah, that's
it's pretty simple.
I get it, but still.
Yeah, they had some brutal quarterbacks during that time.
You just look at that jersey, that jersey that just never
exactly
ending.
Number 2.
Right.
So I think that's why you have issues up there as far as Cleveland goes. But
right, it's just me how they just keep finding ways, man. I just don't get it, but whatever. Yeah, but yeah, Dale. Everybody you said on there, Kelsey, Trent Williams. I think Pro Football Focus, he had like a perfect score one year. I mean, you can't argue with any of those.
Now the defense, maybe a little more argument, but not too much. Edge rusher, Bosa, and Garrett. Did Garrett really have the season though that he normally does? Like he was still that good. See, that's what I'm asking. So
no, I'm a big Miles.
Yeah,
you go ahead, Cam.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. So the thing about Myles Garrett, I was talking to Bengals and Bourbon, and his brother-in-law is a Browns fan. So get this, I was talking. His brother-in-law is like a realist Browns fan and all that and stuff. And I was talking to, man, I'm so jealous you guys have Myles Garrett. And you know what he actually told me? He told me that actually, he said, believe it or not, Browns fans criticize Myles Garrett because he doesn't get a sack at the right time. And I'd be like, well, I'll take Myles Garrett since you guys are that upset with him. Have you guys not heard anything more stupid in your entire life? He doesn't get a sack at the right time.
I mean, it's ridiculous. I asked how many, teams would take a premier edge rusher who's going to get double and get 16 sacks. That's how many sacks he had last year. He had 16.
He had a quiet 16.
He had a quiet 16.
In my opinion, ridiculous. I like him over TJ Watt. So Dale, I would not argue because Nick Bosa, we already know, but I always thought I'd take Myles Garrett over TJ Watt just because of Watt has injury issues. But Myles Garrett, in my opinion, that's my personal favorite pass rusher in the league. That
was the two I was going to mention because I was like, did Garrett have? I really didn't know his stats. If he had 16, that just shows like how dominant.
Yeah, I just looked it up. I'm looking it up right now. He had 16 sacks in 2021 and 2022.
But guys. He didn't get the sacks, though, at the right time. I mean, have you guys heard anything any more stupid in your entire life?
But I was just going to say.
That's what happens when you lose, though. You start nitpicking.
Right.
At people, at honestly greatness, And that's what happened. These players get tired of hearing that, and then they want out. Because, I mean, you got guys getting 16 sacks a year. I'm not understanding what's the right or wrong time to get the 16 sacks.
Which TJ Watt, he was hurt a lot, so I'm sure that went against him trying to get one of these spots. But the other guy was Parsons. I thought maybe Parsons might have been in that mix with Bosa and Garrett. I don't know what he ended up with, but I know like halfway through the year, the guy was on pace to – I'm guessing he was right in that mix, maybe just missed it.
Well, I thought Parsons was more of a linebacker than an edge rusher.
Yeah, man, they basically said, no, you're going to rush the passer like you should.
Okay.
He played more of a linebacker kind of role at Penn State, but that's natural thing is just let that man go get the quarterback. And he did that. He had a great season, in my opinion, but I don't know what his final numbers were.
Okay. No, I'm not arguing with those, but Parsons, you are right though, Dale. Parsons, man. I mean, both Bosa and Garrett, both big guys that just rush the passer. This dude just has speed. I mean, they're just way two different types of pass rushers. So. But, that's a good argument to make right there, though.
Yeah, it looks like Mark Parsons had 13 and a half.
Yeah. Okay. So the consistency of Garrett probably won out in the end, and probably just the name and the veteran thing. If you're close between two guys, you give it to the guy that's been doing it for a little longer, I would imagine, naturally. So and then this one, like, also, like, I don't know. Like, I didn't look this stuff up, so I thought we'd just have conversations about it. Chris Jones and Aaron Donald for interior D linemen.
Chris Jones, definitely. Aaron, oh, yeah, I can't argue with those two.
Like, I don't know their stats last year, but I was going to throw in Hargrave. I thought had a really good season.
Yeah, Hargrave, but Chris, would Hargrave be up against Aaron? Yeah, I would. Aaron Donald's the best interior pass rusher DT, but Hargrave last season, yeah, I think that's an argument you can make right there.
Let's see here. I'm trying to look it up. Aaron Donald here.
But Chris Jones, I'm not going to argue with. Chris Jones was just a dominant force. As much as I pains me to talk about this, he literally, he was the MVP of that game in the AFC Championship. No, Mahomes played well, but Aaron Donald won. Chris Jones won them that game with that.
Yeah, I think right here, Aaron Donald last year got it off the name. He had 5 sacks. Hargrave came in at around 11.
Oh,
but one thing I want to say about the interior line position is, like, are they ever going to show love to nose tackles? Like,
well, it is on here. This NFLPA one. That was the next thing I was getting to.
Okay, so gotcha. Okay.
Dexter Lawrence got it, and that's the only one I can have an argument with is if Reeder wouldn't have been out the 6 games. That to me is the best in the league. I do like that they put that because they did that. They did that with the offense too. They did left tackle, left guard, center, right guard, right tackle. They didn't do tackle. No, it would always be like 2 left tackles. A lot of times. So they did mix it up like that. But yeah, Aaron Donald. So that's one. Clearly, Hargrave. If anybody should have a beef, it's him.
Oh, if I'm Hargrave, I'm pissed.
Yeah. And then Lawrence, I mean, I know he had a good season with the Giants, but
yeah,
I don't know. That to me, that's our potential. Like Reeder, I could see Reeder getting that this year if he plays all 16 games. He's just dominant, man. He's dominant at what he does.
We all noticed when he was in and when he was not in. When he was hurt, we all noticed it. Trust, we all know that.
Now, linebackers, it has Fred Warner and Roquan Smith. I mean, tough to argue those, but I mean, is Logan Wilson that far off from being as good as those guys?
I never saw much of Fred Warner, but Roquan Smith, I'll be honest with you guys, I always thought he was a bit overrated, but I could be terribly wrong. But I mean, I thought he was a bit overrated. I thought that contract he got was like, what? But what the hell do I know, apparently?
I mean, Warner deserves it. I mean, Roquan Smith, I mean, he's good. I mean, he's really, really, really good. I really don't. It's hard to argue that. It's hard to argue that.
Yeah, and Fred Warner, man, San Francisco's done a really good job of drafting a linebacker, like later round
after
guys.
Patrick Willis.
Yeah, they have just crushed drafting.
What was that year?
Warner was a third to fifth round guy, I feel like. Then they drafted Dre Greenlaw, who was also like a 5th round guy, I'm pretty sure. Like,
who was that guy they drafted that retired early because he didn't want to mess with the whole concussion thing?
That was Patrick Willis, wasn't it?
No.
Borland.
It was Borland.
Oh, tough. Yeah.
Wisconsin, I believe.
Chris Borland.
Yeah.
Chris.
But no, I tell you, that year they had, what was it? Patrick Willis, Ahmad Brooks. They had like 4 good line. That was one of maybe the best defense ever won a Super Bowl with that year.
See, I didn't know Osa had such good. Karen saying Osa Adigizua, Cowboys D tackle, had a really good season.
Okay.
I get so hyper focused on the Bengals during the season, so it's sometimes good to do this stuff because I'm like, did this person really have that good of a season? Right. They might have played the Bengals once or twice, and I can't judge how their whole season went off of that. So, like, that's why I'm like, Michael Parsons deserves it. He dominated against the Bengals.
Exactly.
Corners, Pat Surtain, he's come in and had an early impact. And then Darius Slay, who was this close in his own words to going to the Ravens, if you guys didn't see that the other day.
Thank God. But Patrick Surtain, I'm not going to argue with this one, man. I remember when the Bengals played him last year. That's when Chase was just dominating every corner. But we went to Denver. I just remember we won that game because of Tyler Boyd, but he just shut Chase down all game, I remember. So I'm not going to debate that one.
Was it said Slay and Sertan?
Yeah.
I will maybe Sauce.
Yeah, Karen just mentioned him
Sauce,
too.
Yeah.
Sauce maybe over Slay. But far as Sertan, I mean, that dude is good. I mean,
Yeah.
that dude is really good. He might
I
be the best corner in the league. Him and Sauce. I mean, it's crazy that you talk about a rookie and a second-year player, arguably the best corners in the league already. But that could be the case. They're that good.
Yeah, and even the guy that Houston got, Stingley, that they
Mm-hmm.
took up there at third, he had a great season for a rookie too. It's just
Yeah.
Sauce was just that dominant that he kind of got overshadowed based on that. But yeah, man,
And there
there's
was a
some.
corner that played for the Seahawks, Woolen.
Yeah,
Was really good for them too.
No,
Yeah.
Dale, were you high on Woolen in the draft? I kind of liked him. I know that I just remember he had great athletic skills, but not enough experience. Were you big on Woolen, out of curiosity?
He was one of those process guys, right? He showed it at the Senior Bowl that he could go against better competition and play well. He tested well at the combine, so everything was pointing to him being a second, third rounder, and then he didn't go till the fifth round. But for his sake, he went to the perfect team that loves big corners like that in Seattle.
Well, no, also didn't Kobe Bryant, didn't he play really well as a rookie too? He
went to Seattle as well.
Yeah. Didn't Kobe Bryant, though, not do too bad either his rookie year? He had he led the league in forced fumbles, I think, in corners, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, though.
No, he had a good season. Our guy, took over halfway. Cam Taylor-Britt had a good season. That's what I mean. The corner. But to me, that's another reason where I'm like, I know that we're talking about the top guys that go in the top 10 here that are the all pros. But to me, it's like, I'd rather pick a guy at 28 and get a guy in the third round. Second, third, fourth round, it seems to work out almost just as much with some of these corners, especially when you got coaches that know what the type of guy they want. Guys like Anaruma who know. Seattle was the same way. They could wait on Woolen and Kobe Bryant and get those guys, in the mid rounds because they know what type of corners they want. They know how they're going to, deploy them on the field. So to me, I would just love to see, the Bengals wait and get another guy like third round. And you might have two studs, you might not have to use first round picks like we did with J. Joe and Leon Hall. We didn't have to use all those back-to-back first-round picks. If we're scouting that good, that we can find the guys we really like in the second and third round that fit our system best.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with you totally. Yep.
And then safeties, these are Minka and Derwin James. Free safety Minka, strong safety Derwin.
Derwin James, best safety in the league. Minka, he's all right. I mean, no,
Minka's pretty damn good. He's a Steeler, but man, he is a player.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, you know what? Yeah,
that week one game, he helped will those motherfuckers to beat.
You're right. You got to.
Even though we missed a lot of.
You're right. I got a question. I guess I guess people always say it, so I guess we assume it's true. Is Derwin James this damn good? All I know is that he's on the back end of, and all the defense that he finishes is finished 30th or lower. If you that dude, wouldn't you make enough of an impact to
and wasn't he hurt the whole year before?
Better defense than 30th.
He was hurt. He was hurt a lot the year before, I thought.
Yeah,
and that's an issue too. So I mean, it's like we have this guy that's injured all the time. And then it's like, all I hear is Derwin James. Yeah, but the Chargers finished last in defense. I don't see where he makes this much of splash plays to be like, ooh, he's that guy at safety. Maybe it's me, but if we talk about Derwin James supposed to be this next best safety and next generational safety, I just never seen it. I could give you Minka. Minka go get his hands on the football. Minka's go get turnovers. Minka's go block field goals. Minka go be all over the field. I just don't see that with Derwin James.
Yeah, I think Derwin James is supposed to be what Minka is, and I don't know that I've seen enough of it to crown him. Yeah. I don't think that we can crown the guy between injuries and, like you said, the defense as a whole not being good enough. And they went out and got J.C. Jackson last year in free agency and paid him $80-some million, and their defense really didn't make any other step up, as a defense as a whole. So, yeah, I think that's a good – I don't know who else would have been the safety, just off the top of my head. Maybe the guy who couldn't get paid, the other Philly guy, because he had a shitload of interceptions.
That's a good argument right there. I never thought, but Derwin James, I never really got to see him play like you guys. Like, I just kept hearing best safety in the league, like you said, but I didn't know he was hurt. But like you said, their defense was horrible. I mean, what they had on defense, Khalil Mack and Bosa and Derwin James. I know J.C. Jackson got hurt. Something's going on there. I mean,
there gotta be. The head coach is a defensive guy, right?
Yeah, there you go then. I mean, that's just
Brandon Staley, he's a defensive guy. So I'm confused. Like, you got all these names on defense, and y'all finishing last, giving up 27-point leads in the playoffs. That's that's a big question mark.
Yeah, I agree. So just guys, we think we'll go into future All-Pro potential guys for the Bengals that we think could be. I mean, obviously, you start at the top. You start with quarterback. You start with Jackpot Joey. I mean, I think any year it can bounce back between some of those guys. The Allens, the Mahomes, the Burrows, the Jalen Hurts could get in there for a year. Just whoever. Like, it's a good bunch of talent at quarterback for the future here, and I think a lot of those guys are going to get one or two of those in their career. So I can see Burrow getting one
easily.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Burrow. Like I said, so many, about 3 or 4 guys that's going to interchange for these All-Pro spots, year in and year out. So definitely, we can see Burrow getting a few.
And then running back, I don't think we have one on the roster right now that we can say, oh, this is an All-Pro guy, or deserves to be in that conversation. But you never know. Running back is weird. Sometimes you might have the previous year's top 5 all injured. So I wouldn't rule out that just who knows, I mean, and I can see like Bijan coming in and being All-Pro year 1 too, wherever he gets drafted. That could be the Bengals, even the Bills, wherever he goes. I can see him being an All-Pro. Barkley to me is a guy who's right there too. That could have got it because I can't even remember who we said. Oh, it was Josh Jacobs. Like Barkley had a damn good year.
But Dale, you just brought that Barkley. You should have been All-Pro because he single-handedly took the Giants. If anybody credits Daniel Jones, you out of your mind. Barkley led that Giants team in the playoffs. I almost wonder if it should be Barkley.
And here's a rookie for the Jets, Breece Hall. Like, that's what I mean. Rookies all the time. You can see rookies. Hey, Jahmyr Gibbs. You go to the right system with the right opportunities, the right amount of carries, catches, everything that team needs, and you ball out for a season.
Yeah.
Running back, to me, is one of the more wide open, like, all-pro spots.
Absolutely.
I agree with that.
Especially because of the injuries and stuff. Like, you might have the top 5 guys all injured in week 3. And then, out for the season, you just never know. It's such a turnover rate of a position. But moving on, receiver. Yeah, I think we definitely have Jamar Chase could be in that conversation. It was Jefferson and Adams this year who had great seasons, and he had some injuries. But you got to stay healthy. You got to put up big numbers.
Absolutely. That's the thing. If he would, but you got to remember Chase, he's got to share it with Higgins and Boyd also.
That was what I was going to ask. So I'll send that on down to Cam. Like, do you think that could be what hurts Chase from getting on like an all-pro list because we have such a dynamic offense that we need to spread it around?
No. I think if he was healthy for, the most of the year, as far as not, missing those 4 games, I think if he gets those 4 games, you're looking at possibly 1,500 yards again. So I think it's not going to hurt him at all. He just has to make sure we play 17 games, make sure we don't have, any injuries. And I think he can put up 1,600 yards, double-digit touchdowns, regardless of if T. Higgins on the other side or not. It's been shown that it can be done. So
I get so excited, man. You guys, sometimes when I just listen to you guys talk about something again and it takes me back to the season, it takes me back to something, I get so damn excited. I'm just like, I can see it, I start to see it.
Yeah. It's fun when your team is truly contending. Like, forget playoff berths. Like, when your team is truly contending and they're one of the better teams in the league, and like legit, like you're just not talking, but you legit know you got a chance to win a Super Bowl. It's definitely fun.
I just have a quick question for both you guys. Like I said, I don't want to keep going off track. Better wide receiver trio: Chase Higgins, and Boyd, or Chad, TJ, and Henry. Better trio.
If we're talking straight talent-wise, I'll say the latter. But I don't know, man. It's so close. Chad was such a crazy route runner. Henry had the speed that you just can't imagine anyone having. And he was 6'4" with like the jump ball potential. TJ was your guy in the slot TJ was better than Boyd. I mean, if we're just being honest, right? Like TJ was a better in their primes, like TJ was better than Boyd. But I would have to give Chase over Ocho a little bit.
Yeah. But Higgins.
But then I kind of give the third. I kind of give Henry over Boyd.
Henry could have been the best receiver. I mean, Henry had better talent at 6.
Or Henry over T.
Higgins, but he had speed, though. Henry did.
I kind of got to give it to Higgins, though, production-wise.
Yeah, production-wise.
That's the thing. Like, Hoosh was more of the slot like Boyd, but he was the number 2 receiver on the team.
Right.
It was a different dynamic, whereas Higgins.
So, Cam, who do you got, bud? I know, buddy.
That's tough. Wow. I think I'm gonna go with this one, the current one.
Yeah.
By a little, not much. I just think, far as production wise, all 3 of them are at least good for 800 yards.
Yeah.
Like at least, like even Boyd is good for 800. And I think that's where the third option, where Henry didn't quite get you 800 yards. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong. He got the long passes, the long touchdowns. But you got a couple there. And you got a couple winning too. Like these 3 guys, have helped come in, change the culture, and win playoff games. So you got to go with them.
Yeah. And here's an easy way to just say I'll go with them as well, because they've got this year again that we know they're all 3 going to be here. So
yeah,
we're going with this one.
Let's go with this.
That is tough because they're both great. Like we've been blessed to have some really good receivers throughout our history.
I asked Willie Anderson that question at an event, and I'll let you guys figure out who he picked. So
I'm sure he went with his guys. He has to go with his guys.
He didn't even hesitate, which I understand and all that. But that was a fun debate, though, man. I mean, like I say, like you said, Dale, it's just such a blessing. How many teams could say we had 2 sets of trio receivers that were just awesome?
And then you look back at the Isaac Curtis's, even Collinsworth, just the different guys, Darnay Scott.
Oh, my God, yeah. No, dude, it was just so awesome to watch.
Pickens, all the receivers. We've had a bunch. A.J. Green, Sanu, Jones, that trio was fun.
Green, Sanu, and Jones was a very underrated trio. Marvin Jones was just coming along. But he wanted to get paid, and I understand that. But Sanu, though, man, could play quarterback. I felt like we didn't use Sanu right. Did you guys ever feel like I felt like we never used him right? Because Atlanta knew how to use him, I thought.
I don't know. I still thought he had some of his best years here. Like, he might have had a year with Atlanta, but that was about it.
Okay, maybe I was wrong.
Yeah, his best years were still with us.
Okay, yeah, but I was a huge fan of Sanu coming out. But, yeah, I mean, Green, Sanu, and Jones were a great trio, but there's no way you could have compared him to the other 2 trios.
Good problems to have all around. Yeah, good problems to have.
Absolutely.
So, Greg, you got a sidetrack, man. I don't even know what we were talking about now.
We were
talking about
potential Bengals to be in the All-Pro.
And we left off at wide receiver.
It was at Higgins, right?
Running back.
Potentially Chase and
how the
Chase and Higgins dynamic could prevent Chase from.
Yeah.
So tight ends, I mean, we don't really have anybody in the room right now besides Irv Smith Jr., which all goes well. Maybe there'll be a certain Irv Smith Sr. coming on Bengals and Brews soon for an interview. Just a little heads up to everybody. That's potentially in the works. So, which he played 6 years in the NFL as well. I got to do all my deep dive scouting on Irv Smith Sr. if I have him on,
There you go.
Yeah, gotta get that info right.
No, he started following. He started following me. I think he started following a bunch of Bengals fans on Twitter.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, and his brother played in the NFL, and they have a little show. So yeah, I think he might hop on with us here coming up. So have to let you guys know and see if you're available as well. Just trying to work a date out. But anyways, so then if we're moving on, Orlando Brown, like people don't see him as that top, but
yeah, you know what?
Maybe he says, screw it. I'm sick of people saying I'm not one of the top guys. And he just comes in and dominates. And we have such a great year as a team that he gets that, because everywhere he goes, the teams win.
Yes.
So that's got to mean something too.
Film doesn't lie.
Yeah. No, it's true. So, I mean, we do have a player that could potentially be an all-pro on that line, which is huge. It's a big deal.
Absolutely.
Now, outside of him, I don't think anybody would get all pro.
You know what, Dale? I'm going to go. I think Alex Kappa. I wonder if he could be in consideration because Alex Kappa, I thought was our best lineman. I wonder if Alex Kappa could get some consideration.
I thought about saying him just because he had like a really good, like one of his best seasons last year, and if he continues that trajectory, maybe. But right. I just feel like those are hard things to crack,
Teddy Karras, I want Teddy Karras so badly and all that. Teddy Karras, but I mean Ted Karras, I want to say too, and all that so badly. I'm going to say Teddy Karras.
But you know what hurts, like, or maybe a lineup for the Bengals for making all pro is just the reputation of the Bengals offensive line in general. I just think it's like, you can have a good year, but it's like, it's their offensive line. They're always a little shaky, I think reputation can hurt, some linemen here and getting Pro Bowl nods or All-Pro nods, unfortunately.
It's everything. That's Hall of Fame. It's the whole thing that all these things knock us because, it's the Bengals. Look at the Bengals historic. It's like, shut the fuck up. Look at us now. Okay?
Right.
Okay? Look at us now.
Now.
We ain't got the glasses on and the pimples and shit. They done did all those movies where the girl ends up fucking looking like a dime piece at the end, but really she just took glasses off, put some makeup on, and fixed her hair. But that's us now. We're at the end of the movie, motherfuckers. Look at us now. Stop judging us on that early in the movie before we took the glasses off.
I told you. Well, I'll give you an example. I talked to a buddy of mine who hates the Bengals. He said the Bengals screwed up by letting Pirine go. I'm like, they did not let him go.
He had a choice.
He chose to leave to go to Denver. We didn't lowball him, and my buddy's like, I just assumed. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I don't think James is gonna get that all-pro nod. Poor chop. You're on an island on that one.
What's up, Kevin?
What's up, Kevin?
What's going on, kid?
But so then moving on through the offense to the defense. As of now, I don't know. Maybe I see potential in obviously we said Reeder, right? Because they do have a nose tackle spot. I think Reeder's that good at it. I could see Reeder at nose tackle. But the only other guy on defense, because I'm just going to go right through this. The only other guy on defense to me, and then you guys can say if there's anybody else you think has that potential as of right now. I'm going to say Cam Taylor-Britt.
Yeah.
Because I just felt like he stepped up and was pretty damn near shut down in the playoffs in the biggest moments as a rookie, that I think he has the potential to be an all-pro lockdown corner.
Yes, he does.
He's got the talent. He's got the athleticism. He's got all that. He's got that mentality of he wants to be the best. So, I could see him. And then Reeder, I think, is already at that level, though.
Yeah. I got to go Logan Wilson, man. I still think Logan Wilson, we were talking about with Fred Warner and the other linebacker that was in there. Who was the other linebacker that was an all-pro?
Warner and
Fred Warner and Roquan.
Oh no, Roquan Smith. I think Logan Wilson's right up there with both of them. I think Logan Wilson, you can make a great argument.
Contract year too, if he doesn't get.
No, I think Logan Wilson. It would not shock me if he became an all-pro.
I mean, we thought that Pratt had his best year in his contract year this year. So if Wilson has his best year, and he's had seasons where he had 5, imagine Logan Wilson at linebacker getting 7, 8 interceptions with 150 to 200 tackles or whatever, just an insane number. That'd
crazy.
Yeah.
You got anybody else, Cam? Maybe under the radar?
It's just pretty much set him off for me, man. Cam Taylor-Britt is a wild card. Obviously, but I think the guys that you guys said are can be candidates, especially if they take that step up. So
What about
yeah,
this guy?
I
Andrew
agree with
says
you guys.
Cody Ford. Cody Ford will be Bengals All-Pro. Bobby Hart for the Bills.
Yeah.
Oh, your boy Pork Chop said Jonah RT.
Yeah, I popped that one up a minute ago, and I told him he's on an island on that one.
But I don't know Parker though. The way Parker talks about him at right tackle, I don't think it would. Well, I don't know.
He
About
thinks he could be top 10, top 15, and get a decent payday on the open market with his age if he would commit to playing right tackle. But none of that's really
big difference between that and All Pro. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and that's one I thought Cam was going to say was maybe Dax. Like maybe you just never know. Like if he can. I mean, Bates was damn close to being that some years, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, so another thing I wanted to do was predict who we think the big talk right now is primetime games. So I seen Hobson. There's an article out there. I didn't read the whole article, but basically I seen like a quote or something that said they were like, "Oh yeah, we can see about 12 of these. We'd love to have about 12 of these matchups, in prime time of the Bengals games." Because that's who the Bengals are now. They're must-see TV. So the primetime networks want the Bengals. But you can only get, I think, it maxes at like 5.
Yeah, 5.
Yeah.
And sometimes they won't even give you 5 because they might want to flex you later. So we'll just try to, we can say 4 or we can say 5. But I'll go through the schedule and then we'll start with our home games first.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys tell me who of these teams, and then we'll go to away games next. So which of these makes sense or you would like to see personally?
Right.
Because we did this last year, and it ended up being not the ones we thought ended up being the primetime games for the most part.
Right.
But let's see if we can get a little closer this year.
Yeah.
So we got our 3 divisional games, obviously, Ravens, Steelers, Browns.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have the Texans, Colts, Rams, Seahawks, the Bills, and the Vikings.
Bills, obviously.
Bills. I'm not sure. Only reason I wouldn't say Bills, I can see them being flexed to like 4:00. Only reason why I say I don't know if they want to revisit like a primetime game where all this stuff happened.
That's
the only thing I would think about not having the Bills there. I think the Vikings, where you had the LSU boys, Jefferson and Chase,
Could be a low key.
there. I
that'd
think that's primetime action where you'll see that might be on a Sunday night or a Monday night.
be a good.
And I think one divisional game too, obviously, will be a primetime. Probably the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
The division games are what is always so hard to predict because they can just make any of those at any time and be like, well, it's a divisional game. Yeah. And they always try to get the Browns one. They try to get the Steelers one. So it's like, for what we'd rather play the Ravens. We'd rather play the other team we think is the next best in our division on prime time. But this year it could be honestly, man, we haven't predicted other teams and this and that. We'll get into that soon, but maybe the Browns are that team. And I hate it. I hate to even say that because
I think it has a better chance of happening in Cleveland than Cincinnati for a primetime game. That's my personal opinion. I know it happened last year on Halloween. And obviously, that didn't go the way we wanted it to go. But, Kim, you made an interesting point about the Bills game with the whole Hamlin situation. I personally don't think that would hurt the chances. But I get what you're saying, though.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, at the top of my head, that's the one I'm like, well, that has to be prime time.
Man, I don't know if I could feel the same way. You guys were there. I don't know if I could feel the same way I felt this year before that game started. Like, that was the most electric environment. And even at the start of the game, it was crazy. There's just no way to replicate that after what happened.
You know what? You're right. Maybe
even the home playoff game did not feel the same.
No, that Bills game, I mean, we can all vouch. That was the craziest. I think we can agree, Dale. Out of all the social media friends we have, that was the most social media friends I've ever seen at any game.
Well, not even that.
I met you that night, Greg.
That's right. I did meet you. That's when Parker came in. That's when a bunch of people we met at that game. That game was the most electrifying crowd I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, but like you go in the stadium, it's just like it felt different. Everything felt different. It's hard to even put in words. It just felt different.
And no, I tell you what, Bills fans though, that was the nicest fan base I've ever met. I did not meet one fan. I mean, you have a bad fan in every fan base. I did not meet one bad fan at all for the Bills. I don't know if you guys did, but I did not.
No, I didn't.
I mean, Glenn Goodberry's kind of a fucking pussy, but still love him.
Yeah, but no.
That's my dude. Don't go. Y'all don't go run to Glenn. Tag Glenn in this.
But no.
It's a joke.
You know what? You guys are right. Maybe out of term respect, maybe that's not a good. I didn't think about that. But now that you mention it, that's one of those deals.
NFL don't give a shit, man. They want ratings. So
yeah. Well,
you know what I mean? Like, honestly, I would prefer that one not be in prime time. Like,
but it wouldn't. Can we agree? It wouldn't.
We'll match up. You know, we'll see them in prime time again, like in the playoffs. You know,
but
like regular season, just let it be a regular game.
But
me, almost.
Can we agree it would not shock us though if it's prime time?
No, of course not.
No.
Yeah.
Now, one other one, even though the team wasn't good, like the Rams, because it's still Super Bowl matchup from a couple years, and you got Taylor being the protege of McVay, and you know, some storyline. It could be like it seems like one that could be like a Thursday night game.
I can see that,
or something weird.
I can see that.
Just trying to give the Rams something. It gives the Rams some talking points. Oh, here's when they won their Super Bowl a couple years ago. Oh, and here's Zach Taylor, who coached under McVay, like stuff like that. Here's Nick Scott, who's a safety now for the Bengals. Like,
good point.
I can see that being a Thursday nighter. And then away games. So we think one divisional, and then maybe the Bills, and then maybe the Vikings / Rams. So my guess is we'll have like 2 home ones.
Look, we can
a divisional one and a Bills one, or something. If I had to pick.
Well, we can agree one of the away games will be an obvious primetime game, but go ahead.
Yeah. It feels like we always get more away primetime. So I'm gonna
last year we had 3.
Yeah, I'm going to guess we're going to get 3 again. So
it wouldn't surprise me.
The divisional 3, one of those, pick one. That'll be, if not 2. Last year, didn't they give us 2? They gave us.
Yeah, they got at Browns. No, it was technically at Browns and
Ravens.
Steelers, but at Steelers got flexed to 4:00.
At Ravens also.
And at Ravens. So they gave us 3 divisionals.
They initially gave us all 3.
So this time, the schedule, they got to look at that.
That's effed up to put us on the road against our divisional team.
3 road divisional ones.
Right.
That's kind of brutal. I mean,
that's horseshit. Honestly.
Yeah, they got to switch that up.
But this away schedule is a little tougher, and I guess I wanted to realize here after that, the Jags, because they made a step. You know, they're not just a pass me over team.
That could be a Monday nighter.
The Niners are a team that we've been thinking we're going to.
Then we got to go to San Francisco?
Yeah, we got to go to San Francisco. The Titans, who they've fallen off a little bit, but I mean,
we got the Titans numbers.
Yeah, we've had their numbers. So
Derrick Henry,
we done took their heart out.
Dude,
the Chiefs. I don't even need to say anything, right? Put it on a primetime schedule.
But guys, will that be the first game of the year? Bengals.
No,
you don't
probably
think?
Not.
Okay,
they don't want to shoot their load. They ain't gonna shoot their load at the first game of the season.
Yeah, they can't unload the clip on week 1. Like,
all right.
And then the Cardinals, which, nah. So, I mean, clearly, like, we'll say one of these, if not all 3 divisional games, will be on in prime time.
The Chiefs are number 1 on my list. That's a definite primetime game.
And then the Niners.
Last year, and it wasn't.
The Niners. The Jaguars. We've played the Jaguars on Thursday Night Football already. So that's another one. If not the Rams, I can see the Jaguars being like one of those Thursday night games.
Hey, Cam, you are right about that. They did not flex that into primetime. I couldn't believe they didn't.
Nope.
So maybe they just continue to keep that Kansas City and Bengals at 4:00 like they have.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, we're on the road this time. See, that's why they didn't do it, because we were home the last 2 times.
Take it a prime.
But you know what? They might send us to Arrowhead on a Sunday night. You know what? It wouldn't surprise me.
That's how it goes, right?
Yep. You know how it goes.
And then if that's the case, I think it'll be one or the other. See, we look at it and we're saying, we probably could have San Fran and Kansas City on the road, primetime games. I think it'll be one or the other. So if they send us to Arrowhead, I could see Kevin being right here. San Francisco be like 4:00.
Oh, that would be right. Well, that's going to be one because it's West Coast, right?
Yeah, it'd be 4:00, you know.
Yeah. I don't know about you guys. I can't stand 4:00. I'm not a big 4:00. I like my 1:00. I'm so used to my 1:00 games. I know that's a bad thing to say because, but like, didn't you guys like get used to your 1:00 games all of a sudden? Oh wow, we got all these primetime games now, right?
Yeah, it's just different, especially if I got to travel. I'm 2 hours away, 2 hours back. No, I like the 1 o'clock games, so
no,
I
is
at
it
least
easier
make it home
for
by
you to
like 9 o'clock at night.
Is it easier for 1 o'clock or 4 o'clock games for you to travel?
1 o'clock, I can at least get home by 9 o'clock at night. If it's a 4 o'clock game, I'm still not getting home until like midnight, or
That's true.
depending on how the game goes, even later. Those are late nights.
That's true.
Those 4 o'clock ones are brutal. But yeah, so we've got that. We had Mount Rushmore on the list of topics, but we're already 50 minutes in, so I want to do something else. We'll save that for another time.
All right, cool.
We talked about yesterday. We went to 2020, which then I seen. Hey, we were on it, boys, by the way, because then I seen on The Athletic, Paul Dehner had a thing where they looked back at the 2020 draft with our picks. It's like, hey, we already did that yesterday. Way to be behind us.
I know. That was so creepy, Dale. That was like, oh my God, just do this?
It's good timing for us, Those guys kill it, but I wanted, since we did that yesterday, we mentioned this, doing the 2019 first 11 picks. And it's 11 for a reason, because that's when the Bengals had their pick. And none of us are big on the Jonah. If he's here, if he plays right tackle, whatever. Get rid of him. I don't give a shit. Like, I don't know. I'm just over the whole thing, mostly the conversation. I would like to see us have a guy at right tackle that we know we can count on. That's all I give a shit about.
Did you see Cam Fleming? He did visit. I know you've been
Yeah, I seen that today. Who did he visit with?
Was it the Jaguars? Because they lost.
Jags. Yeah, because they lost Jawan Taylor. And I'm like, damn it, he's going to sign there. But that could drop Darnell Wright down to the Bengals.
Well, the thing
that's who I had him taking in this mock.
Well, Dale, you got to think of it this way. He's thinking to himself, well, wait a minute. They got Leo Collins is coming back. They don't have a right tackle at all, the Jaguars do. And that it's probably because he's going to sign there for more playing time, obviously.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just wish we could trade Jonah, get the money off the books, and sign a Cam Fleming, go into the draft, and hope your guys there. But we'll see how it goes. All right, so we're going to do this nice little 11 pick mock draft. We are starting pick 1, Arizona Cardinals. In the actual draft, they took Kyler Murray. Now it's tough not to have
they
a
really
quarterback.
change that though?
That's what I'm saying. But I mean, what's he done? We'll just kind of look around at the positions. AJ Brown still hurts my soul to this day. Debo. Jenkins.
They did great, but they went to the playoff. They're not.
Cody Ford ranked 23rd overall, boys.
Go back to quarterback.
Devin White's been a beast.
Oh my God, I wanted him so badly.
Pratt, Devin Bush, man, how thankful should we be? Like Devin.
Oh my God, Dale, I was so pissed off when the Steelers traded.
Well, and then we got Pratt.
Exactly.
I remember Gardner Johnson fell to the 4th round, and I was screaming for him. Now everybody wanted him this offseason. I'm like, listen, we could have had him. We literally traded up in the 4th round that year and took, what's the dude, the quarterback that beat the Steelers?
Ryan Finley.
Everybody, yeah.
Oh, Ryan Finley.
We could have had Chauncey. I thought we were trading up for Chauncey Gardner Johnson at the top of the 4th when that pick happened.
Who was the quarterbacks in this draft?
Stidham, Finley.
Daniel Jones, man. Let Daniel Jones cook, boys.
Dang.
What's crazy is I like Daniel Jones coming out of college.
I was
Haskins, man. R.I.P. to Haskins. I really thought, and I thought he was going to be that guy. He had a great year for the Buckeyes, but
did you want Haskins on the Bengals?
When it came to that pick, no.
Okay.
Because honestly, I was like, Jonah was a top tackle, so I was like, I'm cool with getting line. We need line. I was happy with the Jonah pick at the time. I can't go back and pretend like I wasn't happy,
right?
Because I was. Gardner Minshew down here, that guy would have made some money.
Oh yeah, heck yeah, he would.
So to me, this is like, okay, do you value the talent of like Nick Bosa or Quentin Williams over having a quarterback?
I just don't think they will regret that Kyler Murray pick regardless. I just don't think they regret it.
No, they won't.
But he's not really done anything though, right?
No, I know, but still.
I mean
he's not really led him anywhere.
At his numbers, it just depends. Like you gotta look at his numbers though. I think let me see, hold on, just a second.
Well, one thing I'm thinking is, don't they have pick 3 And this year they could get it if they would have taken a Bosa. This year they could be getting a quarterback if they didn't have Kyler on their roster.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm trying to piece it together with this year, kind of like we did yesterday.
Right.
So am I thinking that way? Is would I take an Anthony Richardson or a Will Levis? I mean, Anthony Richardson is tantalizing as a prospect.
Yeah.
Like if they could potentially have him and Nick Bosa, or take Kyler here and Will Anderson.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Now I don't see anybody in the chat with strong opinions, so we'll stick with Kyler.
I'm going with Kyler. That's
Stick with Kyler.
I still think Kyler.
If you look at the overall quarterback class, it hasn't panned out, right? There was nothing.
Right,
else.
he the best one by far.
There's nothing else, and you always get you're picking at number one. You got to get your quarterback, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anything changes here.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Yeah, class
Bosa
week
here.
after college.
Bosa, I mean, that's quick. The Jets, Quinnen came on last year, but
I still think you take him.
You got to hate you. Man.
You got guys like Metcalf and A.J. Brown.
Yeah, but dude, you take Bosa, man. I mean, not even close.
Elton Jenkins been good. Bush has been really good. Pratt. The corner, Byron Murphy's been like what? The only decent. Julian Love moved to safety. He's been solid. This corner class, Jamel Dean ended up being one of the better ones, honestly.
Yeah, it's a bad class.
Yeah, not that
This
great.
class sucks.
Grady, I thought, was going to be a steal for the Browns in the second round. Remember, he was supposed to be like a top 10.
Burns.
Oh, now Brian Burns.
Yeah, Brian Burns is really good. And
It's
Farrell,
impossible.
Farrell going fourth fucked this whole thing up in real life.
Oh, I know it did. Well, that helped us get Jones.
I laughed, dude. I laughed when he went
Me
fourth.
too.
I
I
laughed.
said,
no,
Raiders did what they gonna do.
Leatherwood was supposed to be a second round pick. They took him in like the 20th.
Now here's Jawan Taylor, who
Oh, wow.
the Chiefs just paid all that money to.
Right.
That's crazy. They didn't pick up his option though.
I know, or franchise tag, right? Dude,
Yeah, I would have had to.
they
pick up
couldn't.
his
He was a
option.
second round. He didn't have a fifth-year option.
Right.
He was a second-round pick. Taylor was.
Yeah, I'm either going Quinnen Williams.
Ed
That's my
Oliver,
opinion.
damn good.
I could have said Josh Allen or
Josh Allen's a possible.
Brian Burns, but
What about Ed Oliver?
he hasn't been as good.
Yeah.
He's really been like he was supposed to be dominant, and he's been more like solid, kind of like
Gotcha.
at best solid.
I now if he was there, Dale, at 11 for the Bengals, with between him, if it came down between him and Jonah, who would you have picked at that time?
Who picked that between who?
If Ed Oliver was there at that time, would you have picked Jonah or Ed Oliver?
Yeah, Oliver.
I would have.
I was a big Ed Oliver fan coming out of just
Yeah, I
because
would've
I'm a
picked
big
Ed
UC
too.
fan. So
Yeah,
I've seen Ed Oliver play
Yeah.
like numerous of times.
Yeah.
With them playing against UC, and I knew Ed Oliver was pretty.
Well,
I
coming
thought he
into
was
that,
pretty
coming into that last year, Ed Oliver was like the number one guy. He was potential number one overall, So like if he would have fell to 11, I still I liked his talent. Quinnen just ended up dominating that year to move ahead of him on the D line. Man, the Raiders really fucked this draft up, but in real life.
Well, what are the Raiders thinking, man? Like, it's like Darius Hayward-Bay the one year they picked. Then Leatherwood, like I just said, he was supposed to be a second-round pick. I thought the Bengals could have gotten a lineman with Chase. The Raiders just have their very own separate draft.
I say give him Burns, right?
Yeah.
They went with Farrell. Imagine if they went with Burns, that would have been a much better start already, right?
Right.
You good with that, Cam?
I'm good with that.
Giving the Ravens Brian Burns.
Yeah, it can't be Farrell.
Tampa Bay. Now here's man.
That's confusing.
I know that their pick
They
was
picked
solid.
Devin White here, didn't they?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Their pick was solid, but the value of linebacker in general, would you go with a Byron Murphy?
Do you go Juwan Taylor?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Christian Wilkins actually been better than Ed Oliver too. So has Rashawn Gary and Dexter Lawrence and Jeffrey Simmons.
Jeffrey Simmons.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Simmons. Oh my
Damn,
God.
we didn't even see Jeffrey Simmons. So.
Oh, dude, I would have.
That would have been the third pick.
Yeah, he would have went third.
Raiders.
Well, let's not fuck up anymore. Let's give him here, right?
Yeah, don't even think about it.
There's no question about it.
We're only doing 11
picked him for the
picks.
Raiders.
So. That's what I'm saying. He would have went third easily there.
Didn't they pick Dexter Lawrence?
With their second pick, I think. Here's when they took Daniel Jones.
Oh, they took Daniel Jones. They took Lawrence at 17.
Would you take Daniel Jones again? They extended him.
I think you will. You have to.
I think you. What's crazy is, yeah.
But the
unless you flip them and pick Dexter Lawrence now and Daniel Jones at 17.
Yeah,
that's the only way. Because I don't think nobody would have picked Daniel Jones.
I laughed when they took Daniel Jones here.
I like Daniel Jones. I was one of the rare people that liked him coming out of the Duke, but
no, Daniel Jones
he's been average, I guess.
I still don't think he's that good, but he got paid. They like him, so
would you
they're
say
picking again.
Is he a grilled cheese sandwich area like Andy Dalton?
I mean, yeah.
I think so.
But he's got a bigger arm and he can run a little better.
Yeah, he can run a little bit.
Yeah, no, you got to pick Daniel Jones.
They took Josh Allen here, the Jaguars, but then in the second round they took Jawan Taylor.
Yeah, I think they still go with Allen. I mean,
yeah, I was gonna say or Jawan Taylor they could take. Like,
is there any other defensive lineman we need to see? So we slipped on Simmons.
Sweat.
Deep tackles.
Okay, I just want to make sure there's not even anybody further down the list.
Crosby.
Yeah, see, that's what I was afraid of.
Oh my God.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh my God.
You got to really look down on some of these because, like, guys come out of the fourth round like Crosby, and I'm taking Crosby.
Yeah,
I'll take Crosby over Allen.
God dang it, man. I mean, it shows you how messed up people are ranking players.
You just never know, man. There's a guy who, that works their ass off too, like where they come from a smaller school like he did.
Yeah.
Draymond Jones has been really good, and he just got paid. That's another guy just to keep in mind with Dex. Rashawn Gary's Christian Wilkins been really good. And like these guys at D tackle have all been pretty damn solid, except Jerry Tillery. And then tight end, I still ain't taking no tight end.
And there's Irv. TJ Hawkinson.
They picked Hawkinson, didn't they?
TJ
Yeah,
Hawkinson.
they took him at 8 here, and
they traded him then.
Murphy Bunting has been pretty good for.
Dean's been really damn good though.
Yeah,
Tampa.
Dean I would consider here.
Could we give him Dean?
I do it.
Who, Jamel Dean?
Yeah.
Oh, at 8?
Well, why not?
Didn't they just give him
somebody out there we can get the Lions outside of Jamel Dean?
Oh, Stanley Morgan's there.
There has to be.
AJ Brown.
There's
DK
AJ
Metcalf.
Brown up here. There's DK Metcalf up here.
Yeah, you know what? But Cam, wait a minute now. Look at their history of drafting receivers. Charles Rogers, Mike Williams. Who were those 3 receivers they drafted?
Roy Williams.
It was Charles Rogers.
I drafted them Jalen Carter in the mock draft the other day at D tackle. So you're telling me they can't use Christian Wilkins, Gary Lawrence, or Draymond Jones?
Yeah.
I think they could use Lawrence. Lawrence is a monster.
All right, let's give him Lawrence.
But Cam, going back, then I think Calvin Johnson. I'm like, oh, never mind. So they do.
Yeah, he made up for all that.
Yeah.
And then Buffalo, like if we look at the overall, I still like linebacker. The positional value at linebacker is not worth those picks.
TJ Hawkinson. I don't know. Do you go Hawkinson? If you give him a weapon,
Juwan Taylor, Christian Wilkins. Well, they have their tight end though. Knox.
Yeah.
What do you think, Cam? Christian Wilkins,
yeah.
Look at the cornerback class that year was not good, but Josh Allen's still available.
You gotta be Josh Allen. You gotta be Josh Allen at this
Josh
point.
Allen, Jawan Taylor are one of these D tackles.
Yep.
Give him Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now we're at Denver, who traded this pick to the Steelers, but so you can think of it like it's either one. Steelers really wanted a linebacker. We could at least give him Devin White, I guess.
Yeah, give him Devin White, whatever.
You know, they
Yeah.
got Devin Bush. If they at least got Devin White, they would have got somebody decent.
Yeah, I know, yeah, pretty much.
And that leaves us on the board at pick 11.
But see, now think about this. If you pick A.J. Brown or DK Metcalf, you're not getting chasing them. I go T.J. Hawkinson. Can you imagine we have Hawkinson, Chase, Higgins, and Boyd?
Well, we got Higgins the very next year, too. So, like, probably wouldn't have went with Higgins.
Yeah.
I like Elton Jenkins, man. He can play every spot on the line.
Yeah, Elton Jenkins.
I don't like the cornerback class.
Safeties. He's still out there, isn't he?
Yeah, he's still a free agent.
Juwan Thornhill, there you go. We kind of wanted him, but I don't think he's Montez Sweat. Oh, dude.
You got Wilkins and Gary and Jones and Oliver. And then we took Jonah, but there's Jawan Taylor.
Dude, Jawan Taylor, man. I mean, like
Caleb McGarry.
Yeah, but Dale, man, if you could solidify him at right tackle, but I know he's the left tackle now. I might go Jawan Taylor right here.
Josh Jacobs, baby, and the running back talk.
Damn.
Tight end. I don't like Hawkinson or Fant that much to take him at pick 11.
You know what? TJ Hawkinson's a top 10 tight end, in my opinion. He's a good tight end.
I ain't taking him at pick 11 overall.
You wouldn't debate that? I think that's debatable, man.
I'm not.
All right.
Cam done left. We're on the clock. Cam just left.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Cam.
I mean, here we needed.
I didn't leave, fellas. I didn't leave. I'm sorry. I just had to take care of something. I didn't leave.
We need your help here, Coach.
Oh, at 11?
We got the stud receivers, but then we said that could cost us Higgins and Chase down the road. A.J. Brown, Metcalf. I like Elton Jenkins as just a player in general. Lindstrom was the best guard, and he just got paid.
Yeah, no.
I mean, we needed line at the time, but man, that's so.
Wilkins, Gary.
I'm taking it out of it. That's what I wanted at the time.
I'm not against that all.
Yeah, but his career came out of the way, I mean, he gives us
Oliver, man.
You got something against Ed Oliver.
We could have Jawan Taylor as our right tackle. That's what I was thinking.
You know what?
That's fair.
I like Christian Wilkins too.
Where's he? What team is he on again?
The Dolphins.
Okay.
Gary's on the Packers.
Okay.
Draymond Jones. I don't remember who he signed with. He was on the Broncos, but I don't remember who he signed with.
Right.
Seahawks, I think, signed a big deal.
Right.
So are we going with Jawan Taylor?
Yeah, let's do that, Dale.
And our line problems are already fixed, right?
What I'm saying, man.
The thing is, man, I think he was in the conversation for our draft pick originally. Like, he really, really was. And he fell to the second round, though.
Dale, you're costing us clock time here, but we got to pick somebody.
I know.
Jawan Taylor it is.
All right, there you go.
We took Jawan Taylor. So already we fixed it. We done fixed it. We won 2 Super Bowls. We're the 2-time defending Super Bowl champions, okay?
All right.
Does it work that way?
I'm perfect with that.
I'm fine with that. Boom.
But yeah, well, no, Dale, who did you have hired? A.J. Brown or DK Metcalf? Who would you have picked?
I had A.J. Brown, my number 1 receiver. And I had Metcalf, I think, second. So
okay. But
they were teammates. They were teammates at Ole Miss, too.
Right.
But I just like A.J. Brown better.
Who did you like more, Cam? Because both were very similar. Who did you like
better? I liked A.J. Brown better. I didn't like DK Metcalf that much. I wasn't that high on him, actually, so he proved me wrong.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, TJ Hawkinson, no offense. I just remember those two coming out. Hawkinson's, why would the Lions trade them to a division rival in the Vikings? I don't know what they were thinking right there, right?
I have no idea there.
Yeah.
Derek's cracking me up.
Uh-oh.
He just, in our Bengals and Brews message, he said, do you guys want to have Irv Smith Sr. on? He followed me the other day. Like, man, do you even look at the messages we send back and forth, Derek? Shit.
Up to date, right? I'm just kidding.
That guy, I'm telling you, he don't pay no attention to anything. Working the night shift, he don't pay attention to anything.
Well, yeah, on different schedules. So.
We could go on this show and talk about Lord knows. We could talk about Kid Rock shooting fucking beer cans. I seen that on the internet today. That was something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why are you going to buy the beer just to shoot it?
I don't. Yeah.
But whatever. Well, fellas, we'll see about Friday. Check on your schedules. And then if nothing else, we'll have to try to get us one of these in again next Monday.
Absolutely.
Maybe we'll have some news by then.
Hopefully.
Please have some news.
Something.
Hopefully, buddy.
Appreciate you guys.
Hey, take care, buddy.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Take care.
Hooday.
Hooday.
Hooday, baby! Let's go! It's time! Cincinnati, we gon' rise and up. In the jungle, we unite and up. Trippin' orange and black and white. Whole day when we fight. Live and die in these stripes. Now who